What's going on, guys? El Tiburon here with another pickups video. Today we're going to be showing off some SoCal Gaming Expo games. We're going to be showing off some toys. We're going to be showing off some movies. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. So we're going to get started right after a little energy drink, if you will. Kind of like lagging it right now. Late Sunday, you know, worked the whole week, hit the yard sales on Saturday, hit the swap meet this morning, so I'm pretty tired, guys. Pour a little energy drink in here. By the way, this is a mug courtesy of my buddy Vince over at the Dad Level Podcast YouTube channel. Very cool mug. He gave this to me, I think, like a month ago. And I thought this was like an official mug, but he says him and his dad would actually make these kind of frosted mugs. So here's to you, DLP. Only bad part is I just had dinner and I brushed my teeth, so energy drink doesn't taste the best right now. We're gonna start off, let's get right to it. I'm gonna start off with some toys. So first up, I guess we can consider this a toy. I found this at a swap meet. For those of you that watch my swap meet hunt videos, I found this a couple weeks back at one of the flea market / swap meets. $5 for this official Halo helmet. Really cool. Really like detailed. I don't know if this was like part of a costume or something, but I feel like I can just put it like on a mannequin head and it'll look cool somewhere in the background. Let's see, does it fit my... I have a big head, so yeah, see, it doesn't fit me. Fits me like a but really cool little display piece. Like I don't know if I mentioned, I paid $5 for this, so really cool to have this big Halo fan. We're currently Francisco, Billy, and Retro Ryan. We're currently going through Halo Infinite, and it's, you know, as much hate as it got, I'm kind of having a fun time playing it. Not the best Halo. I wouldn't say it's right now the best Halo, but having some fun playing it. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering, what the hell is Annabelle doing there? This little girl right here. This little sweet little girl right here, she is probably my favorite pickup of the last month. I got her at the swap meet. If you guys watch my swap meet hunt videos, I got her at the swap meet for $40. The guy wanted 70. I think I left, and then I talked to my wife about it, and she's kind of like, you gotta go back and get Annabelle. I go back, she's still there. I think I jokingly said, hey, I'm promoting you on my little YouTube channel. Maybe you give me 50% off. I don't know if you misheard me and was like, yeah, I'll give it to you for 50. And I was like, how about 40? He said, yeah, take it. I later did some research. I think this is a trick or treat mannequin, which goes, I think, north of 400, brand new. So really happy that I snagged this Annabelle. One of my other grails is the Trick or Treat Chucky, Good Guys Chucky, but it's also about $500 for that doll. So I'm happy to at least, I don't have the Chucky, but I at least have sweet little Annabelle over here. So don't mind her, she's gonna just be here hanging out in the background. Pay her no attention. Alright, next toy. Another swap meet find right here. This is He-Man, Masters of the Universe. This is who makes this? Mattel, right? But this is in the style of like the retro figures from the 80s, but with a modern twist. I guess a little bit more HD, if you will. But I really dig this. I had this Battle Damage figure, the original one in the 80s. So when I saw this, I was like, oh man, this one's cool. And then you can swap the head he's wearing right here for the more retro looking one. So I really dig that. So happy to have this for $10 because, like I mentioned in that video, getting He-Man stuff. I never realized how expensive the vintage He-Man stuff is nowadays, so it's a little bit too rich for my blood. So I'll take a $10 modern retro style He-Man. That works for me. And speaking of He-Man and vintage, I actually found a battle cat at the swamp. Not at the swamp meet. This was actually not at the swamp meet. I got this at a yard sale. It's a vintage battle cat. So I'm gonna plop this little He-Man right here on top of this battle cat. Little mix of retro with with modern. Yeah, I got this one. I think I got him for $10. I got him alongside He-Man's nemesis, Skeletor. This is an actual vintage one. It comes with the little staff. I also got the knife and the staff. So yeah, really cool. Let's see, does he fit in here? The only thing I noticed with this Skeletor, I don't know, I had forgotten about how like these figures always had like issues with the rubber band, because the legs are connected by a rubber band. So he has like some crazy legs right here. But yeah, put Skeletor in here. I might need to find like a Panther so I can put the Skeletor up here on his Panther. But yeah, I'm gonna put my modern He-Man on a vintage battle cat. So really happy to have that, because I think He-Man was my first toy I remember owning. Like just He-Man and Skeletor and all the like Stinkor and the furry guy. What was that dude's name? Beastman or Furman, whatever his name was. So yeah, really cool to have that stuff. Another figure here. This was a SoCal Gaming Expo pickup. It was a buddy of one of the Pixel Game Squad guys was selling this. It's Johnny B. Bad. Oh, he's so pretty. He's a bad man. I actually dropped them by accident, and he cracked right here. The bubble cracked. I was like, God damn it! But he's still so pretty. I think I might just keep him like this and probably display him somewhere back there, like, you know, pin him up there. I just love the box art. I love the card, you know. We got Johnny B. Bad. This is the gimmick he should have had, or a variation of that gimmick in WWE. I dug the Wild Man, but it wasn't as over as Johnny B. Bad. So yeah, really cool to have this. $10. Couple of other toys that I got. I got Akeem, the African Dream, one half of the Twin Towers. Come on now. You remember him, Annabelle? Akeem, the African Dream? No? Well, he used to do like these little dances, like he would go these were like his dances. He would just go like this. But yeah, come on, man. Twin Towers, Akeem, the African Dream. Apparently he was like a parody. They made him like a parody of Dusty Rhodes to kind of throw a shot at Dusty Rhodes, because Dusty Rhodes, you know, he was always juking and jiving, so they made fun of him. WWF made fun of him by having this wrestler, Akeem the African Dream. Get it? He was the African Dream. Dusty Rhodes was the American Dream. Next little figure I got from the swamp meet. Little diabetic. Sugar diabetic bear. Sugar bear. Little plumpy little bear. Come on, man. Couldn't pass this up. I love Sugar Bear. Can't get enough of that golden crisp. I guess I'll just throw this in the mix. In the middle. Not a toy, but I got a magazine from my buddy the Billster. Mad Magazine with Bill Cosby. We're always cracking Bill Cosby jokes, so he got this for me. I don't know where I'll put this. Who knows? Maybe when I'm having a mixed drink, if you will. Speaking of drink, let me take another swig of energy drink here. Alright. Next toy. Got this at a toy shop. Thanksgiving. John Carver from Thanksgiving. I'm not going to take him out of the box because it's going to take a while, but John Carver from Thanksgiving. Eli Roth movie that came out. I think it came out last year, 2023. Really dug that movie. For those of you guys that haven't seen it, go out of your way to watch this. If you're a fan of slasher movies, this was a throwback to the old school, like Halloween's, Friday the 13th from the 80s. Really dug this. So when I saw it, I'm like, I gotta get John Carver and throw him in my little kiosk in there with the other horror characters. Speaking of horror characters, right here on my shirt, I got Shorty from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I used to have the, I think it was NECA or Movie Maniacs. I don't know who made the ones that came out in the early 2000s. But I used to have him with his little gun. And my dumbass sold him. And now that figure is really expensive. So when I saw this at the toy shop, I'm like, okay. It's not that same figure. It's not as detailed as that figure either. Even though this is a more modern release, but kind of dig that he comes with his little boxing gloves from that scene in Killer Clowns when he knocks that dude, that I think is like a biker guy. He like knocks out this biker guy. Really cool. Shorty from the Killer Clowns movie and now video game. Let's see what's next. Dude, I got Sub-Zero. This is a Storm Collectibles Sub-Zero. I got this guy at a yard sale this past Saturday. We were at this yard sale that had a bunch of like video game stuff, bunch of Storm collectibles figures, video game sealed video games. Not the best. They were like Scarlet Nexus and a bunch of, they were like kind of like not the sealed video games you would want, but yeah, a bunch of video game stuff. This one and a couple of other video game Storm collectible figures caught my eye. I tried to make a bundle price with the vendor, but the price was a little too steep, so she said, I'll give you this one for $50. And I'm like, man, I know these are more than $50, so I'm like, I gotta take at least a Sub-Zero to represent Mortal Kombat, because up here I have like my video game characters, and I have Ryu up there. I have a King from Tekken up there. Gotta have someone to represent Mortal Kombat. And even though I think Cabal is my favorite, can't go wrong with Sub-Zero. Can't go wrong with him. So really cool to have this for, I think essentially I got it for like $40 because I think she gave this to me for $50 with like a Tekken hat, like a lanyard, like a Pac-Man lanyard and something else. So I essentially got it for like $40. So really cool to have this. Next up, let's go to the movies. Got this at the swap meet too. Dunstan checks in. Come on, how can I pass up on Dunstan checks in? Funny enough, I'm always like cracking jokes about Dunstan checks in on my buddies like YouTube live streams, and I'm always just bringing up Dunstan checks in just for, you know, just for giggles. And I'm like, if I'm always cracking jokes about him, I gotta have the movie, because truth be told, I've never seen the movie. I just think it's the kind of just the thought of this actually being a movie that was released about a monkey that is like a bellboy at a hotel, like just the fact that that even exists, that's like hilarious to me. So I gotta own the movie. I gotta watch the movie. Maybe Annabelle and I will crack open a couple of energy drinks and watch this together. Dunstan checks in. Next up, I love me some VHS. We're continuing with the VHS. This is Nightmare on Elm Street, the original with Johnny Depp. My buddy Omega Ace, shout out to my buddy Omega Ace Gaming. He got me this VHS for free. He brought it for me. He's like, hey, you like VHS trash? Do you need Nightmare on Elm Street? I don't need it, but I'll take it. So really cool to have this. Thanks, Omega Man. Next up, I got another VHS tape at the swap meet, The Howling 3. I've never seen any of the Howling movies, but I love horror VHS tapes. I just love like the cover art on them. Just, you know, gives me nostalgia of when I used to go to the video store to rent VHS movies. So really cool to have this. I have to check this out one day. And I got Howling 3 that same day. What are the odds? I found the sequel as the label comes out. The sequel, Howling 4. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with the cover art, which might have helped the price because I don't think he knew that it was there was a horror movie in here. He gave it to me for like $2 or $1. The Howling 4. I'll have to hunt down like the first 2 Howling so I can, watch them in order. Another, I think this is a spooky movie. Red Riding Hood with Amanda Seyfried. Is it Seyfried? What big eyes she has. She does have some big eyes. But yeah, really quiet. I didn't even know this was a movie, Red Riding Hood, but it looks like a spooky telling of the big bad wolf and Red Riding Hood. So I'm looking forward to check this out. Next up, I got this at an estate sale. The Beatles, A Hard Day's Night, Blu-ray. I remember. Is this a Blu-ray? Yeah, it is a Blu-ray. Blu-ray, it's sealed too. I remember watching this as a kid, the movie Hard Day's Night, because my mom and my older sister were really big Beatles fans, and so they would always be listening to the vinyls, and they would like rent the VHS tapes, and I remember watching A Hard Day's Night. So really cool to have this nostalgia, and have to pop it in one day just for the nostalgia and the vibes. And come on, how can you not like the Beatles? These guys are legends. Next up, I got The Thing. I think this is the prequel. It's the modern one. I think it's a prequel, right, to the Thing from the 80s. I know my buddy Omega Ace said, not so good, The Thing, this prequel movie, but I gotta check it out. I want to watch it. I dig the 80s Thing movie, so I gotta check out this prequel or whatever installment it is in the series. That was a Goodwill pickup, by the way. And another Goodwill pickup, 28 Days Later. I had been watching, I don't know what YouTuber, I can't give the YouTuber credit because I don't remember what YouTuber I was watching. But he was talking about kind of out of print movies, horror movies. And this is one of them. So it was, as soon as I saw this at Goodwill, it was fresh in my memory. I was like, oh, I think that's an out of print Blu-ray. And yeah, sure enough, I looked on eBay. This one goes for about like 30 or more. 28 Days Later. I'm keeping this one because I don't own it, and it's a really freaking scary zombie. I guess they're not really considered zombies, right? I think they're called infected in the movie, but come on, they're zombies essentially that run. Really creepy freaking movie. Really scarier to me than other zombie movies because they run. I think I had a discussion with like Tylord and another buddy on a Retrowave podcast. Cheap plug for the podcast, the Retrowave podcast, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all your podcast apps, also on YouTube. We were talking about like, damn, imagine being in this apocalypse, being in this world where infected zombies, whatever, are running after you. I'd be screwed. First of all, I got plantar fasciitis. I've had reconstructive knee surgery. I got flat feet. I'm old. I'm out of shape. I'm dead. I'd be dead in like I wouldn't even come out. I wouldn't even be in the movie. I'd be dead at the title screen. Next up, we got the Austin Powers trilogy. My buddy the Billster's favorite trilogy. He says it's a better trilogy than Lord of the Rings trilogy. I remember really liking the first one when it came out. I haven't seen it since then. I don't remember loving the sequels, but I think I got this for like $1, $2 at the yard sale. So come on now. I'll probably only like really care to watch this one, but for $1, $2, let's get all three. Why not? Another swig of energy drink. Another swig of energy drink for everybody out there, all the gamers out there, all the gamers and collectors and hoarders like me. Okay. Next up, my buddy, the Professor Tylord Stevenson, gave me a Game Boy SP. This is the SP, right? I actually used to own one, like maybe about 10 years ago, and I'm a purger. As much as I am a collector and hoarder, I'm a purger too. So I'll get stuff, collect for it, and then get rid of it. So it's really cool to have one of these again. This one's like in the style of NES. So really cool to have this like NES style SP. And let me see, what games did he get me? Let me show off the games he got me. He knows I'm a big wrestling fan, so he got me a shitty one, WWF Attitude, but an awesome one just to balance it out, right? Fire Pro Wrestling for the GBA. I was playing this a little bit when Tylord came over and he gave it to me. Really fun game. I think I was wrestling like some bootleg Dwayne The Rock Johnson in there. And I was kicking his ass, but I couldn't figure out how to pin, so he eventually beat me because I could not figure out how to pin him. But really cool to have this. Thanks Tylord Stevenson for the games and the GBSP. I think now I need to get Mario Kart Super Circuit now that I have this, because I really love that Super Mario Super Circuit. I think it might be Mario Kart Super Circuit. I think it might be like a top 3 Mario Kart for me. Another one I picked up at the swap meet. Actually, I picked this up while hanging out with Tylord and Omega and the Billster. They went to the swap meet with me. This is Capcom Fighting Evolution. I remember asking Omega and Tylord, like, is this any good? Because I think the guy was only selling it for like between $5 and $10. So I'm like, is this a good one? And they said, yeah, it's good. They didn't sound super convincing, like, oh, that's a must-have. But they were like, yeah, it's good. You'll like it. So $5 to $10 I think I paid. Why not? You know, Street Fighter. Who doesn't love Street Fighter? Next up, I got this at a yard sale, I think for $1 or $2. NFL Blitz on the N64. I don't collect a whole lot for the N64 outside of wrestling games and Mario Kart. I don't have any single player games, so I don't have like Ocarina of Time and Mario 64. I know that must be like blasphemy for a lot of you N64 fans out there, but I just don't care to have those games. I wanted to play my wrestling games, my Mario Kart, but and I was gonna sell this one on my eBay store, NFL Blitz, but I'm like, you know what? This might be a fun one to keep, because the good thing about the N64, it comes with 4 controller ports. I'm sure this is a 4-player game, and it's arcadey NFL fun. It's essentially like NBA Jam but with football, so why not just keep it, take a chance on it, maybe stream it one of these nights. I'm sure it'll be a good time. If I don't love it, I'll just sell it, but let's give it a shot at least, right? Next up, I got a bootleg Turrican, a bootleg. Like I mentioned, for those of you guys that watch the swap meet hunt videos, I got this at a swap meet. There's a seller that sells a lot of original games and original hardware, but he sells a lot of boots, a lot of bootlegs. He says that they use I think carts for like sports games, sports games that nobody wants, and they'll repurpose them and put boots for like, pricier games. I think this Turrican game is a little bit more expensive than FIFA 95, right? So I think this is like a shooter. I'm not even exactly sure what kind of game it is, but I think it's a shooter. Maybe right here, if I get a chance, I'll drop some footage of, does this work? I haven't even tested it on my Sega Genesis, but I'm gonna test it to see, does it work? And I'll add the video somewhere here. Yeah, $10. He sells the repros for $10, so I'm sure that's probably like an $80 game or more, like originally. So I'll take a boot. I don't care. Next up, I was at GameStop, and to use my $5, my monthly $5 coupon, got this game, Ghost Song. I was kind of just picking through the games. I was trying to look for something, $10 or less, so the coupon can be, more effectively used. But the only thing that really stood out to me was this Ghost Song game. I've noticed that the PlayStation 5 gets a lot of physical, like, spooky games, which the Xbox doesn't. I'm a bigger Xbox fan, not gonna lie, but I noticed that the PS5 gets a lot of like the physical copies of these spooky games, where the Xbox doesn't. So I guess I'm just starting to collect like these spooky games for the PS5, and I don't know anything about this. If you guys have played it out there, let me know. Is this worth playing or not. I just figured for $18.99 plus the $5 discount I got, cheap game, might as well get it, right? Next up, I got this also at a swap meet. This is Remember Me. I know nothing about this game. I know it's made by Capcom. I know nothing about it. It was in a pile of just like a bunch of like video games and controllers. This one is sealed, actually. It's sealed, but already the plastic seal came off of it. I got, I think, 3 copies of this. 2 of them I already put on my eBay store, but I'm like, I'm gonna keep this one just to check it out. A lot of the 360 games that I collect, it's I don't really collect games that I already played through, because I already played through them. What I'm collecting is stuff I missed out on. So I got like Lollipop Chainsaw, which now I'm gonna sell because they're making a HD remaster of it. I'm getting, Shadows of the Dam, which I hear they're also remaking, so I'm probably gonna get rid of that at some point. Ninja Blade, Fear Files, games like that, games that I missed out on. I missed out on this one, and I don't know who told me. I don't know if it was Retro Ryan or somebody else, but they said this is actually a fun game, so let's check it out. I think I got it for, he was selling them, I think, all the games in his little like pile for like $5, but you got a bundle and get a discount, which he did. He gave me a little discount. I got a package from my buddy Wubs over at my Top 5 YouTube channel. I'll drop a link to his channel in the description. Yeah, he sent me a package. I've sent him, I've sent him like some CDs. He's a CD collector and some movies. So he's like, hey, let me send you something. Sent me a little box. I think I might know like one game that's in here. I don't know the rest of what's in here, but we're gonna open it live. We're doing it live, pals, and see what's in here. But before I open it, I just want to ask you guys out there that are watching this, go give him a look. Go give his channel a look. My Top 5 on YouTube. I'll drop a link to his channel, like I said, in the description. Essentially, what he's doing is he's starting to interview other YouTubers. So he's interviewed Tyler Stevenson, Retro Ryan, Dad Level Podcast, and he's asking them, hey, what's your top 5 video games? What's your top 5 video games of all time? And he does a really great job with like the editing and the footage that he uses, the music that he throws in there, and over that they're kind of talking about, hey, this is why I love this game. So he's kind of doing kind of like a get to know interview with other YouTubers. So if you watch like a Tyler or a Dad Level Podcast or Retro Ryan, go check out my top 5, because you'll learn a lot about like what their favorite games are, the stories behind them. He's interviewed me too, so at some point my episode will come out and you can find out what video games are in my top 5. So yeah, give them a look if you will. Now let's open this package here. What's in the box? Let me do like a blind grab here. I'm gonna try not to look. I'm gonna grab one at a time. Oh, it's like a nice little stack in here. Oh, Friday the 13th, Part 3 in 3D. Does this come with the glasses? Yeah, it doesn't come with the glasses, but I think I have it. I wonder if my Blu-ray glasses work with this. If you guys know, Friday the 13th Part 3 is the first time my boy Jason Voorhees gets his mask. An underrated entry in the Friday the 13th franchise. Thanks, Wubs. It's my favorite horror movie franchise, Friday the 13th. Let's see what's next. Ooh, Batman. Some Batman animation movies. So I just got this one on 4K. Batman Mask of the Phantasm. But I've never heard of this one, Batman and Mr. Freeze. Sub-Zero. Is this one like before or after this one? So really cool to have this, so I can check out this Mr. Freeze one. I've never seen either of these two, but I've heard a lot about this Phantasm one, that it's really good. So I'm looking forward to check this out. Thanks, Wubs. Let's see what else is in here. Oh yeah, I think this is the one that I knew he was sending me. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Yeah, I think he asked me, "Hey, do you want this game?" I was like, "Yeah, I used to love the Power Rangers. Like I think season 1 and 2, and then when they started like switching the actors and all that, and Power Rangers Zero and Power Rangers Space or whatever it was called, it lost me. But I was a big fan of the original like season or two. Yeah, this looks like a fighting game. So this is cool. It'll be cool. Hopefully it has the music in there. Thanks, Wubs. I didn't have this game. This feels like, is this VHS trash? Oh no, it's not VHS trash. He knows I love VHS trash. This is The Ghost and the Darkness. Not sure what this one is about. It stars Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer. Pray for the hunters. Oh man, I love me some good taglines. I don't know anything about this, but I'll check it out. Thanks, Wubs. Let's see what else is in here. Oh yeah, I kind of knew about this one. He asked me if I had seen Hollow Man, and I told him no, I've never seen it. And he told me, oh, it's a good movie, you should watch it. So he sent it to me. Really cool. This one's with what's this dude's name? Kevin Bacon, Elizabeth Shue. Why does that name sound familiar? Who? What else was she in? Yeah, isn't this the one where he's like invisible? Is that one? Is that a Hollow Man? But yeah, I'll check this one out. Thanks, Wubs. Oh, and this does feel like VHS trash. You know, I love VHS trash. Oh, what is this? Relative Fear. Is this the little boy from freaking Pet Sematary? Starring Darlene Fugel? Oh, it is Pet Sematary. It says Pet Sematary 2. Maybe it's not him. This looks super weird. It looks like, oh, it's a promotional copy. I love me some promotional copies. And it's sealed too. You know what? This kind of like schlocky, thriller, psychological, horror movies from the 90s and 80s. That's like, I love it. That's like, outside of like horror and pro wrestling, that's like probably one of my top 5 loves right there. Psychological thriller, sleazy, cheesy movies from the 80s and 90s. So thank you for this. I know nothing about this, but it looks like the kid from a freaking Pet Sematary, but maybe it's not him. There's more stuff in here. Man, he crammed some stuff in here. Eyes Front. And there's like a hammer and like a Bible. I don't know what this is. But we'll have to check it out to find out, right? Eyes Front. Anybody out there know what Eyes Front is all about? Let's see. We got Devious Beings. Is that like Mario Van Peebles? I know nothing about this either. Devious Beings. And then last but not least, Two Coyotes with Jorge Cordova, Nico Gulak, and Joe Estevez. Is this the least popular Emilio Estevez? Joe Estevez? I have no idea anything about this movie, but thanks for the stuff, man. Like I said, go check out Wubs over at My Top 5. And last but not least, I'm gonna show off my SoCal Gaming Expo pickups. Thanks to everybody that checked out that video, by the way. It was like a little vlog of you know, going with Omega Ace, with Tylord and the Billster, and you know, walking around the SoCal Gaming Expo and looking for games and having a good time. So first up, another shout out. Man, I've been giving a lot of shout outs out here. Some games that I got hooked up with from my buddy Vinnie Net Zero over on YouTube. I'll drop a link down to his channel too. He gave me a good deal on these 3. World Hero World Heroes Anthology. Neo Contra, which I know nothing about, but someone told me it's a really good game in the comments of that video. And Battle Arena Toshinden. I only ever played the demo on the PlayStation back when I had the PlayStation. So when I saw this, I got some nostalgia vibes. I was like, oh man, now I can actually play with more than 2 characters and for more than 1 match. I used to love playing the hell out of that demo, Battle Arena Toshinden. So thanks to Vinnie. Link down below to his channel. And I just realized I threw in some non-Expo games, but I'll show them off anyways. NHL 94, got this at the swap meet, couple bucks. Hunter the Reckoning, got this at the swap meet too. Fun. I played this back in the early 2000s. Super fun 4-player co-op game. It's like a top-down, what do they call that? Like a twin stick shooter kind of. Jaws Unleashed, come on. I'm El Tiburon, I gotta have Jaws Unleashed. Never played it. I don't know if this game is any good. I've actually never heard my buddy Tyler Stevenson rave about this, which kind of worries me. So we'll have to check it out. Another swap meet one. Wanted. I know nothing about Wanted. Weapons of Fate. But I just think the cover looks super cool with that dude with the mask in the cover. Really cool. This is another one, like I said, I'm collecting games I missed out on so I can play them. I missed out on this Wanted Weapons of Fate, but I love the look of the character with the mask and everything. So I have a local game shop that resurfaces games for $2. So I took that, Hunter the Reckoning, and what was the other one? And Jaws Unleashed. I took them to get resurfaced because these are staying in my collection. Oh, these were gifted to me by my buddy Tyler Stevenson at the convention. He got these at the SoCal Gaming Expo and gave them to me. First one is Dirty Challenger. I forgot the name. This is Muscle, right? These guys are Muscle. Dirty Challenger. Know nothing about this game, but he knows I collect wrestling games for all the consoles as long as I can play them, because I do have a Retron 5. I don't have a Super Nintendo or Famicom, but I do have a Retron 5 that plays these. And Super Fire Pro Wrestling, really cool. I for a long time never got into the Fire Pro Wrestling games because I didn't know how to play them. Now that I know how to play them, I want to play I want to try to play as many of the games as I can because they're really fun once you know how to play them. So thanks, Ty Lord. Pick this one up at the expo too. This is I can't read the Japanese writing, but The Next Generation. I think my friend Killer said this is a sequel to another game I had picked up earlier in another swap meet video. So he said, oh, this is the part 2 to whatever that one is. I think it's the road to something. I forgot what it was called, but really cool. Got this at the expo. I think it was like 20 or 25 bucks. I don't remember exactly. More wrestling. Love me some wrestling. WCW for the NES. Not a great game, but I don't own it, and it's pro wrestling, so I gotta have it. And you got the Road Warriors. Come on, you can't go wrong with a Hawk and Animal. Tell him, Hawk. Well, I used to love that. He would always start with, well. Alright, and last but not least, Arkanoid. With the Arkanoid controller. I've always wanted this controller. I've always loved Arkanoid. I've never been good at Arkanoid, but I love the simplicity of an Arkanoid game. So when I saw this at the expo, I think it was 70 for both, and I think I got it for 50 for both. I don't know why. I've just always wanted Arkanoid on the NES with a controller, because this is a game where you're pretty much just maneuvering this little like metal beam, and you're trying to keep the little ball, you know, up hitting the bricks. It's like a brick breaker game, but it's a lot easier with the little dial right here. You just move back and forth instead of using the D-pad. So really cool to have this. Was really pumped to finally own this. I think I've wanted this for years. Yeah, but that's it, guys and gals. That's it for my pickups. Thanks for watching. Annabelle and I, you know, we gotta get some sleep, so we're out of here. See you guys on the other side.